to Kind Hearts, Strong Souls podcast, where reality and courage take the mic and hope leads the way.
The conversation of three friends united by work and held together by mutual care and support. Join Jodi as she moves through the challenges of a cancer diagnosis. The conversation is frank and honest, while also being caring and supportive. The voices explore the real pain and fear of cancer, the strength of faith and friendship and hope and optimism that shines even in life's darkest hours. Whether you're a survivor, a supporter, or simply someone in need of inspiration, this conversation will remind you that even when the road is very hard, hope is harder to break. Hi, and welcome to episode 5. It's kind of hard to believe we're already at episode 5, but here we are. And today we're going to be talking about the relationship between Jodi and her husband, Stephen. And you're about to hear what I think is just a beautiful story of reality and love in the midst of reality, sometimes realities that we didn't anticipate or plan for, those that maybe we didn't even welcome, but they're here. And one of the things that comes with a disease like cancer, even a situation similar, is, the adjustments that a spouse must make. And so the story you're about to hear is about a person that really has stepped up and really embraced not only his wife, but embraced the reality of the situation she's in. So I think what you're going to hear is quite moving and quite beautiful. And if along the way there's a little bit of sounds of voices getting choked up, I think those are kind of normal things. So we hope that it is informative to you in a very, very positive way. And we welcome you to the podcast. And Jodi, how are you today?
Thank you, Ken. I'm doing well. Thank you. I hope everyone had a great holiday. I sure did, with my new grandson in the house. So it's always more special.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going to talk about Stephen and the role or the roles he plays in my life and in my journey with cancer. And, the title of our podcast was or is What a Beautiful Thing It Is to Have Someone Love You Through the Storm. And it is a beautiful thing. And Stephen is my shining light through this storm. We've been married, well, we'll be married 30 years in August of 2026. It's hard to believe 30 years has gone by. Boy, time is a thief. But it'll be 30 years. And when we got married and said our vows, Stephen took those vows to heart. He is doing all of the things he vowed he would do and more. I am his princess. He calls me that every day. And let's not forget what Stephen gave up to care for me. And he did this voluntarily. He gave up time with his friends. He gave up hunting time. He gave up his me time, just to name a few. And also, don't forget that sometimes I'm not the best patient. I am my mother's daughter. So I do have a cranky old lady side that Stephen has to navigate from time to time.
We don't believe it. So
It's
Right.
true.
Yeah, we've
It's
never
all
seen that.
it's all true. And that's why I said he has to navigate that, because he really hasn't had to over the years. Rarely. He has no regrets that I know of. He's doing exactly what he wants to do. And he tells me that till death do us part. I've learned a lot throughout this journey. One thing that warms my heart about Stephen and what I've learned about him is not only how much he loves and cares for me, but he's also my protector. He will protect me to the ends of the earth. Not only does he want me to feel safe, he will do anything to keep me out of harm's way and make sure I am as secure and comfortable as possible. I've said this before in my book, I've written about it, that I found a new layer of unconditional love for him. I know he will always be there for me, wrapping his big arms around me, soothing me when I need it, and protecting me from everything and anything that life throws at me. Another thing that we really shouldn't forget is that Stephen was thrust into this caregiving role as quickly as I was thrust into being a cancer patient. He's always been there for me. The level of care for a cancer patient is never ending. Um, and it is even to this day, it's never ending. Stephen works a 40-hour job. He's a manager, so he has a very intense job. And I bet you he hasn't even kept track of the amount of hours he spent caring for me. Like I said, it's endless. It goes well beyond 40 hours a week. But that number doesn't surprise me. You know, Steven's been my chauffeur. He he's my medical team um, on the ground. He's my eyes and ears for them, making sure that I'm okay, making sure that I something's not going on that I need to go to the ER for, making sure there's nothing serious going on. He also helps with cooking and cleaning. He takes excellent care of all of our furry friends. And most importantly, he's right by my side, um, calming me when I need it. He reminds me to stay positive. He is my hero, and I'm thankful that he's my husband. We were talking about heroes a little bit earlier off air, and Stephen's my Captain America.
Mhm.
To Brenda and Ken were telling me stories about their grandsons getting Captain America shirts for Christmas or pajamas or whatnots, and how excited they were. And you know, I was saying that, well, my Captain America is Stephen.
Mhm.
Um, he is my round the clock caregiver. I remember when I was in the thick of like surgeries and recoveries and hospitalizations. Um, I remember he would wake up at 4 a.m. He still does to this day, some days. But he would get up at 4 a.m. trying to get the chores done that might require him to leave my side. I would have breakfast by 6, and he would stay on duty until I either napped or went to bed at night. There wasn't lot of spare time for him. He didn't have a lot of spare time for hunting. He loves his flower gardens, and he didn't have a lot of time to go and tend to his flower gardens, hang out with his friends. He was too busy making sure I kept my weight up, or that I was hydrated enough, or that I was safe and comfortable and warm. Um, he used to manage the multiple medications I take, and don't forget, I had a whole podcast on
Mhm.
medications, and so
Numerous.
that's a full-time job. Um, so he used to manage all of that. He used to schedule all my doctor's appointments and my clinic visits. He helped me with my own personal hygiene when I couldn't help myself. He dried my tears, and God bless his heart, he did not miss one doctor's appointment, one scan, one time I had to sit in the lab and get lab works done. He sat patiently every time in the waiting room. Um, he would field phone calls, texts, doctor's messages, insurance stuff. He did it all. He was there at the drop of a dime every time.
Mm.
And he still is.
Mm.
He still is. I remember one time after, I don't know if it was my first surgery or it was my second surgery. I think it was my first one. I was trying to take a shower by myself. I wanted to be a big girl and go in the bathroom and take a shower. I just wanted to take care of myself. I had that need. Um, and so I got undressed and got in the shower, and immediately I knew I wasn't going to be successful in the shower. I was in distress. And so I cried out for him. He came running into the bathroom. He took his jeans off and jumped right in. He didn't even look. He didn't even look to see what was going on. He just jumped in. He had his shirt on. He had his skivvies on. He had his socks on, but he didn't care. It didn't matter to him. His only goal was to get in that shower, see what was wrong, and to help me and protect me. And that's what he did. He did that. He got me out of the shower. He got me dried off. He got me put in a chair. Meanwhile, he was still soaking wet, but it didn't matter to him how he was. His goal was to make sure I was okay. And that's what he did. I remember another time, I was just so sick. I was so sick, vomiting sick. I swear I was vomiting for an hour. I was exhausted. I was tired, and I remember I just crumbled right on the bathroom floor, right next to the toilet seat from exhaustion. And Stephen got right down on the floor with me and laid there and stayed there until I could get up. He stayed right there.
Mm.
These are times that I call all in times with Stephen, where he was all in. Not that he's not all in, he is, but these are like those above and beyond all in matters. So he goes above and beyond. And he also helps me when my mind wanders. I'll be the first one to admit I take anxiety medication. After my mother passed, and with this diagnosis, it was just too much. And it was hit me like a ton of bricks, and I had to get medicated. My mind was not going into the right places. I was very sad. And so I went on anxiety medication, and it was the best thing. But I still tend to wander from time to time, as one would if you are in my shoes. Um, and he reminds me, though, that I need to stay in the present, and I have to not think about the what ifs, and I have to not think about going down that dreaded rabbit hole of what ifs, the two words we all dread all the time. He reminds me that my full-time job is to take care of myself and to kick cancer's ass. And most importantly, and above all, he reminds me of all the battles that I've already won, of everything I've already gone through, and that all the battles to come, he will be there by me, side by side, fighting. He won't give up. And because of that, I can't give up. I fight every day for Stephen and our family. My love for him grows more and more every day. I'm not quite sure how much more it can grow, but it does. And I thank God every second of the day for that chance meeting in that apartment in Winooski 30 years ago, 31 years ago, actually. I forgot we had Travis. I knew the moment that I laid eyes on him in that apartment that there was something special about him, and that he was the man I was going to marry. I knew that. I knew when I looked at him, I was going to marry him. I truly believe that he was sent to me into my life to calm the chaos and to show me that there is love in this world, and to lead me exactly where I need to be, and to love me along this journey regardless. He will. I truly, truly feel that we are our soulmates. And if you don't mind, I have a little message for Stephen I'm going to try to get through without crying. But if you don't mind, I would love to read this for him. Stephen, thank you. Thank you for being such an amazing husband and life partner. One thing I am absolutely certain of, excuse me, I'm sorry, let me start that one over, sorry. One thing I am absolutely certain of, it's not that I can't live this life without you, it's that I don't even want to try. Stephen, you are the shake to my bake, the bumble to my bee, the beat of my heart, the love of my life. My only wish is that I could turn back time, find you sooner, and love you longer.
That's beautiful.
Amen, Jodi.
Thank you. Thank
Y-
you.
You know, as people that have met your Stephen, you know,
Very,
in real life, so to speak, he's a man's man. He's a very masculine man, as you mentioned. He's a
yes.
hunter. He's not a he's a good sized guy, and he's very manly, and it's clear not only from your words and your emotions that he's stepped into the role of being your caregiver and your support, being the person that makes you understand that you're not alone 24/7. And it's really quite a beautiful thing, and we all are grateful for that. We look to him as, to some degree, as an example because of the way he does that. But we're also grateful, and I'm talking about that cloud of people that are your friends. We're grateful that he does step in the way that he does, and he is supportive the way that he is.
Mhm.
We kind of know, unfortunately, that not everybody is. And so the same news that surprised you um, surprised him. Um, but his response to it has just really been a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you talk about him, whether it be in the podcast and in the things that you just read, or when we're just discussing our spouses, and the three of us are, very, very blessed to have great spouses. But when you talk about him, you talk about him in very glowing terms, and that's a very nice thing to hear in the world that we live in.
Yeah.
So
Well, he does glow. I don't know
yeah,
if
he
you've
does glow.
noticed. He
He
Yeah,
does
has a
that's
glow.
right.
halo as
Yes,
He
well.
does
It's
glow.
beautiful.
that
Yes.
Yeah.
that yellow orange aura that follows
Yeah.
him. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
Well,
great.
and just, just to put into context a little bit more about how kind he is, I everyone knows I had my hernia surgery in early November. Stephen's dad also had hernia surgery scheduled the week before mine, and he lives in Connecticut. And so Stephen took the week off from work to go help his father recover from his hernia surgery, lifting him out of bed, for the first couple of days, and, making sure he had food, and, just those first couple of day things that you would need to do for a person. And Stephen stayed for a week and made sure he was okay, and then came home and went to work on a Monday. And then that next Tuesday, I had my hernia surgery. So he was a back-to-back caregiver, literally, like 1 week, 1 week. And he made no qualms about it. He took time off from work, and he went and he did what he needed to do. And I don't even think it's what he needed to do. It's what he wanted to do.
Mm,
He wanted to go down there and take care. His sister lives 5 minutes away, but he wanted to go down there and take care of his father.
mm,
And he did.
And we think that
And
a warrior princess deserves a superhero husband. So
mm,
it
well,
all
it's
makes
fitting.
very good sense. And
Yeah.
I wonder when I think, and realize how wonderful he is, and you guys are blessed to be together. Do his parents have a special operating manual on how to raise a wonderful human being like that? You know? Um,
Well, if they did, they didn't share it with me. I just, my inkling is that he comes from just a great family
mhm,
anyway, a great family background. Um, So I just, I get the sense that he was just born that way. He's born with a very kind soul, a very caring soul. He's, you know, for a male, he's very nurturing, which is, I don't know, kind of, I think unusual for a male, maybe. I don't know, but he's very nurturing and, yeah, no manual. What I do get asked a lot though is, does he have a brother?
Yeah, I bet.
That's
I
great.
totally bet.
That's great. Is there another one like him?
And I'd say, no, that mold was broken a long time ago.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you also, and I think you explored this, but I'm not sure how it made out. But I just imagine people in this situation listening to this podcast could learn from him and from both of you. And is there a support group for him to shine in? You know what I mean? Like, is there an opportunity for that?
It's funny that you asked that, Brenda, because we've not found a lot of support for caregivers. They're, I'm not sure how much he explored it at UVM, but we were expecting that the life raft group
Right.
to come through with their caregiving stuff, but it was kind of want and very unimpressed. So he hasn't really had a lot of support, and he sometimes I can tell sometimes he could not not that he could use it, but he would like the camaraderie of having someone for him. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
He hasn't, as far as I know, he hasn't really connected with any other caregiver or caregiver groups. Although his ears are open all the time, as are mine, as well.
Nice.
And I think a lot of it too is it just comes so naturally for him that he just kind of makes, kind of like I did in my journey in the beginning, because I didn't have a lot of just cancer support as well. You kind of make your own journey, and you make your own path. And then you put your feelers out and say, hey, I have this for you because I didn't have it. Kind of like what we're doing with this podcast.
No,
Right.
that's where I was headed too, is he'd be able to help people. Both of you
Right.
can. And yeah. And
Yeah.
yep.
And so that's, and maybe one day he'll have that opportunity to be like, hey, I was in your shoes and,
Right.
here's some of the things I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. And we talk a lot about, our love for each other. But we don't talk about disagreements and that. And we have those. Like we're a married couple. We disagree and we're not always on the same page. We went through kids together and finances with kids together, and we survived.
Jodi, you're not like perfectly compliant when he says jump. You don't say when and how
No.
high.
How high? Yeah.
No, not at all.
That's great.
We are married, but we are independent as
Yeah.
well. But we do have our disagreements, and like I said, we're not always on the same page. But we respect that about each other. I respect that he doesn't have the same views or opinions on a certain subject that I have. I'm not going to try to change his mind. He's not going to try to change mine. But we respect it, and we just kind of move on. It's good. That's the way, we agree to disagree. That's how that's going to be. And also, part of our vows when we got married, a big part of our vows was we honored to keep the peace. And that's what we do. We try to always come to some happy medium where we can both be at peace with it. I was saying, we go to weddings and mostly weddings, but they have all these new things like you can sign a square that they'll make a quilt out of, or here's a block, write your marital advice on it. And Stephen and I write, keep the peace every time,
Mhm.
Nice.
all the time. That's what we write. That's our advice.
Mm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful motto.
So we're not a perfectly happily married couple. We do have our problems like any other couple. But we do work through them. And, 30 years is a testament. And like I said, I wish, I am 8 years older than Stephen. So I wished I could turn back time a little bit and have met him sooner.
Mhm.
Mm.
Intercept them at another time in life.
Yeah, I couldn't go
Yeah.
back too far in time though, because then I would be risking jail time. But that's another podcast.
That's great.
Yeah. So
Seems like there's a cat lady story in there somewhere too that I just love that expression, and that has to come up here. Help me with
the
that,
crazy
Jody.
cat lady. Yeah.
Yeah.
So along the lines of, I'm older than Steven. I was like 32, 33 years old when I met Steven. And, at that point, I was living by myself. I had 7 cats. I was single. Mr. Right, my soulmate, however you want to put it, didn't appear to be coming around for me. So I was perfectly happy being the crazy cat lady.
Mhm.
And until I had that chance meeting in Winooski and met Stephen. And I went from being the crazy cat lady to, oh, I'm going to marry this guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's great. That's great. Where did the cats go?
Yeah. Well, eventually, it's funny you ask, Ken.
Yeah.
It's funny you ask because my husband at the time was not a cat person. He tolerated them. So over the years, they kind of disappeared until I was down to like 2, and I never really caught on.
Uh-oh.
I never really caught on where the cats were going, and I never really wanted to know. So I ended up with 2 when we finally moved into Starksboro. And I've been a 2-cat household ever since. And I have to say, I have a cat. She's 23,
Wow.
and she's been a cranky cat. If do you guys remember Grumpy Cat? He was like
Wasn't he a
that
cartoon character?
cartoon,
Yeah,
the
sure.
Grumpy Cat. Well, I'm pretty sure Rascal is Grumpy Cat's sister.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
And she's always got a grumpy look on her face, and she never liked anyone except me because I fed her. She never really liked me either, but
Mhm.
she tolerated us all.
Mm.
And in her old age now, she's been starting to sit on Stephen's lap
Mm.
and kind of hang around with him, and so he's getting this newfound love for cats. I think
Oh,
he's
good.
finally, after 30 years, starting to not only tolerate the cats, but he's kind of liking them, I think.
Nice.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. So
Good.
that's my crazy cat lady story.
Appreciate that.
That's when
Yeah.
I met Jodi.
That's
She was a
right.
crazy
Yes.
cat lady.
I was in the thick of my crazy cat lady days when we knew each other.
Yes,
That's
at
funny.
the
Yeah.
law firm.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Seems almost like a lifetime ago.
Mhm.
In certain ways, we do seem to live in eras, right?
Doesn't it? Yeah.
You just entered the grandma era, or
Yes, I
well,
agree. Yeah.
what do they call you? What name did you choose?
I'm Grammy.
Grammy.
Creamy.
Okay.
Grammy. We'll see what they call me, but
And Brenda's Mimi, I think.
Mimi.
Mimi.
Yes.
Mimi.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yes.
G-Pa. That's
Cheaper.
yeah, I
I
kind of
like
like
that.
that. Yeah, I like
I
that
like
too.
G-
I wanted
Yeah.
something that sounded different. So
You sound like, it sounds like a rapper name. Like I feel like you could be a
yeah,
rapper.
yeah. Well, a lot of people mistake me for a rapper. They
Yeah.
In a
stop me in
cape.
airports and stuff like that.
I mean,
Ah.
I
go-
would, especially if you have the G-Paw shirt on.
Yeah. Are you Tupac or are you G-Pa? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know where we're going with that, but anyway, it's on the serious side, it's beautiful to hear about your relationship, and it's beautiful to hear about the support that you share with one another as husband and wife, and the helper he is to you, and how he's literally stepped into a new role that he didn't invite. Obviously, you didn't invite it either, but bang, it's here, and he jumped in, not only in literal ways like your shower story, but in
Yeah.
every other way as a person that stands by your side and assures you that you're not alone. And boy, that is such an important thing.
Yeah.
And I know for those in the cloud of friends like me, that means a lot to us too, because we want everything to go as well as it possibly can.
Yeah.
And so your spouse's support and encouragement and arms of love and all those things are, we all know that's a very, very important thing.
Hmm.
The three of us share a great relationship and a great friendship, but we also each have great spouses, right? And those spouses are, boy, they're just so important to us, and they
Yeah.
really make life make sense in many instances. And so
Yeah.
we're so
I know
grateful
my
for that.
Yeah, I know my younger sister will from time to time text Stephen and thank him for taking care of my sister.
Oh,
That's neat.
nice.
She will
That's
say,
neat.
"Thank you so much for always taking care of my sister and
Oh,
making
Yeah,
sure she's
nice.
okay."
that's sweet.
And yeah, I think it's sweet too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Because he doesn't hear it a lot. He's the
No,
one person that doesn't get the thank yous that he should. And if you read my book, every time I talk about him, I tell people, I tell the readers that if you see him, thank him. Thank
Yeah.
him. Not just for me, but thank him for you, for being, taking care of your friend, and letting him know that y- y- what he's doing is helping, and you know that he matters,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So he
yeah,
doesn't get a lot of that, which is another reason I want to do this podcast, is
Yay.
just
right,
is A, to get the word out about my husband, and B, if you hear this podcast and you see Stephen, and even today, say thank you
right,
for helping me, and thank you for caring for me, and thank you for protecting me and loving me and getting me to the point I am today, because he is a big part of that.
right,
I fought. I fought really hard to be where I am today, and Stephen helped me through that fight. And so without him, I probably would be in a different place, I
oh,
think.
sure. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great
So thank him.
challenge. It's a great challenge to all the caregivers
Yep.
to step into their role. And
Yeah. It's thankless. It's endless. You know,
well, it may be
yeah.
endless, but I don't think it has to be thankless.
It
So I
doesn't have
think
to be thankless, but I
that's the
feel
point you were
sometimes it
making.
is. Yeah. Yeah.
One of the nonprofits I serve with, one of our goals is to create a culture of gratitude and thanks.
Mm.
And you just spoke to it. We don't express our thanks enough. Um,
Yeah.
we don't express our gratitude enough. So
Yeah. So
good
you watch
lesson.
now. So now his phone is going to blow up with all these thank yous. He's going to be
Yay.
like, "What?"
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to give me you want to put his text number on the podcast?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll attach it in the links.
Yeah, put it in the show notes. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Anything else we wanted to cover today as we?
No, but we're coming into a new year, so I wanted to wish everybody a happy new year. Um, I hope your year 2026 is good to you. If you make a resolution, I hope you stick to it. I'm not a resolution girl. I tend to, if I need to do something, I do it. If I need to pray for something, I pray for it. I don't need a resolution to do that. But some people do, and that's good. Um, I was talking earlier off air about my Betty birthday next year. And I'll spell that for those who don't know what it is. It's Dian, Betty and birthday. That's next year for me. So what that means is that my age and the last two digits of my birth year are the same. So I'm not afraid to say it. I will be 63 next year, and I was born in 1963. So Betty and birthday. I'm supposed to have a fantastic year next year.
Good.
So I'm praying that happens. If you read my book, you do know that I am the person with the unfortunate luck. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, I don't know. I think there's some people that are listening that are going, she is stinking lucky, right?
Really lucky. Yes.
I
So,
guess I'm stinking lucky with as far as the lottery of men. I got the best one.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
I am. That's for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to have a great year next year. And I hope everyone else has a great 2026 as well.
Thanks. Thanks. We wish you
Thank
well.
you. Mhm.
We'll
Thank
look
you.
forward to more positive scans and positive Jodi
Yeah.
and
And on the scan side, I leave in 2 weeks to go back to Dana-Farber. It came really quick this time.
Mm,
So I'll keep you all updated on that.
that'd
Is
be
that?
great.
Yeah.
And we'll look
Yeah.
forward to some guest appearances coming up in 2026 in our podcast. So
Yes,
we
we're
look forward
hoping.
to that.
We're going to cross our fingers and we're hoping to have a couple guests next year. That would be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Well, shall I close out our podcast and in sort of our year too?
Yes, please, Ken.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Father in heaven, thank you for your goodness. Thank you for those you put in our lives to strengthen us, to encourage us, to guide us. We really, really appreciate it. And we thank you for the relationship that Jodi and Stephen um, just have together, a relationship of care and support and just total love. We thank you for the example that is to all of us, and we ask that you would continue to grow that and strengthen them both, give them each a deep sense of appreciation for the other. Father, we do ask that you would be with us in the new year. We know we live in crazy times, and sometimes those times can be a little bit discouraging for us. We ask that you would help us to sort of live our lives above all that, um, and and just kind of see through that cloud. We thank you for your goodness in our lives. We thank you for Jodi and her life and her desire to be an encouragement to others that are in a cancer situation like hers. We ask that you would continue to honor that and continue to strengthen her. And we're bold enough to ask that you would continue to heal her body. Um, all these things we bring before you. We ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. From our kind hearts to your strong souls, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Your support helps us share hope. So please leave a rating, a like, subscribe to the podcast, and share frequently. God bless and peace be with you.